Have you ever, stumbled across a word online? Maybe something like skibidi or delulu.
Yeah, all the time.
And you just think, is that actually a real word? What does it even mean?
Exactly.
Well, get ready, because the Cambridge Dictionary just dropped over 6,000 new words into its digital pages.
6,000?
Yeah, and guess what? Some of those exact terms are now officially in there.
No kidding.
So our mission today really is to figure out why this huge linguistic update happened. What do these words tell us about language?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe more importantly, what do they reveal about, our world right now?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a stack of really interesting sources here, news outlets reacting with surprise, let's say, and others diving deep into where these terms actually come from.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, isn't just the words themselves, in isolation.
Right.
It's what their inclusion actually signifies. We're going to explore how these terms reflect these bigger, often pretty rapid societal shifts. And we'll draw on the different perspectives we're seeing across our sources. Because these aren't just random additions, are they?
No, not at all.
They're like little linguistic markers capturing the pulse of our culture as it evolves almost in real time.
6,000 words. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second.
It's huge.
It's this incredible surge of new terms flooding into our language. It almost feels like the dictionary is like sprinting to keep up with how fast we're living and working and talking.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. A sprint.
And our sources, from the Kronen Zeitung to the New York Post, they seem to consistently highlight that these new words are popping up across three big areas.
Okay.
You've got the wild, always changing world of social media slang. Then there's the new realities of remote working. And finally, the increasingly urgent vocabulary around climate change.
Indeed. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, it just profoundly suggests that language isn't some, static artifact locked in a museum.
All right, it's alive.
It's a living, breathing thing, constantly evolving. But what feels really unprecedented here isn't just the evolution itself. It's the rate of change.
The speed, yeah.
Exactly. Over 6,000 words in just 12 months, like many sources point out, that's not just evolution, it really is a linguistic sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And it forces us to ask, doesn't it? Is the dictionary now becoming more of a real-time linguistic mirror, reflecting our current conversations rather than just being, a historical archive?
That's a great question.
And what does that actually mean for how we think about correct language or even linguistic stability?
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting, especially when we dig into the social media slang.
Uh-huh.
Because we're not just talking about obscure niche terms here. These are words that are actively sparking debate, even a bit of outrage.
Like skibidi.
Exactly, like skibidi. So our sources tell us this is basically a gibberish term. It started on YouTube from some viral animated series.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, its meaning is totally fluid. It can mean cool, it can mean bad, or apparently it can be used with no real meaning as a joke. Just like a placeholder sound.
Wow, okay, so super versatile. Or maybe just vague.
Right, which is fascinating itself. But this fluidity and the fact it's now in the dictionary triggered some surprisingly strong reactions.
Like what?
Well, the New York Post, for instance, really ripped the dictionary, they said, for adding a nonsense slang term.
Ouch.
And they actually posed the rhetorical question, English is no longer a language.
Seriously? That's quite the reaction.
Yeah. And the Peterborough Examiner kind of echoed that, asking something similar. What the skibidi is happening to the English language?
And that really brings us back to that fundamental question. What is the dictionary's job when it comes to documenting this kind of, super fast evolution?
Right.
With skibidi, it's, totally variable meaning and its origin in these fleeting digital trends. It highlights a real challenge for traditional dictionary making.
Yeah, how do you pin that down?
Exactly. It forces us to think about how language is increasingly shaped by things like irony and these really short-lived online contexts.
Okay, so that's skibidi. What about others?
Well, then we have tradwife. Now, this term is pretty straightforward compositionally, right? Composed of English words for traditional and wife.
Okay, traditional wife. Makes sense.
But its significance is where it gets complex. Our sources, including Kronen Zeitung and Die Press, they highlight that it stands for a growing and controversial trend.
Controversial, okay.
Where women choose to embrace traditional gender roles, often focusing on homemaking and subservience within a marriage. The controversy really comes from its implications, regarding modern views on gender equality and choice.
So it's tapping into a real cultural discussion.
A very deep one. Its inclusion points to a societal trend that's not only growing, but also generating significant, often really polarized debate.
Gotcha. And there was another one mentioned. Delulu.
Ah, yes, Delulu, which is basically a shortened, informal way of saying delusional. Its popularity, mainly through social media and especially with younger generations, just underscores the sheer speed
Yeah, how fast this stuff moves.
at which terms from online communities can just permeate into broader language, or sometimes cause confusion. The LAD Bible actually noted that these terms are leaving even Gen Z confused.
Wait, really? Even Gen Z?
Apparently so, which suggests that even among the sort of native speakers of internet slang, the pace of change is maybe creating disconnects or new communication hurdles.
Wow. Okay, so it's not all just viral slang and internet trends, though, right?
No, definitely not.
Our sources also show these dictionary editions mirror other big practical changes in our daily lives.
Like remote work.
Exactly. The mouse jiggler, perfect example. It's a word born directly out of the shift to remote work.
I think I know what this is.
Yeah, it highlights this very specific and maybe kind of universally relatable modern work challenge. It's basically a device or software designed just to keep your computer from going idle. So your little status light on Slack or Teams stays green, showing you as active.
Ah, okay.
Right.
To look busy, essentially.
Pretty much. D-Press specifically mentioned this as one of the new additions reflecting that changing work landscape. Its very existence, I think, speaks volumes about the new dynamics of remote work.
Yeah, it touches on everything from like worries about perceived productivity to just the blurring lines between work and home.
Total.
And then on a very different note, you have Forever Chemical.
Right. That sounds ominous.
It does, and it reflects a different but equally significant kind of evolving awareness. While it's less about social trends, its inclusion signifies this rapidly growing public and scientific discussion about environmental impact.
So what are they exactly?
These are basically persistent chemical compounds, often called PFAS. The key thing is they just don't break down easily in the environment.
Oh, wow.
They accumulate in our bodies, in the ecosystem. So seeing this term in the dictionary alongside, mouse jiggler or skibidi,
It's quite the mix.
it is. It reflects this heightened global awareness and scientific focus on these really serious long-term environmental issues. It's a term that directly impacts how we understand and talk about the world around us.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, too, about the journey of these specialized terms. How does something go from, say, scientific research or a niche industry
Into everyday conversation.
exactly into our common vocabulary understood by most people? It suggests these complex critical issues are increasingly becoming part of our everyday language, which maybe demands a more informed public, too.
So, okay, stepping back.
Yeah.
What does all this actually mean for us? For people speaking English today, is English really no longer a language, like some of those sources dramatically put it? Or is it just doing what languages always do, adapting, evolving, reflecting the times we live in?
Well, it certainly seems like the latter, doesn't
It
it?
feels like it. It's just so clear that social media are changing work habits, these big global issues. They're all leaving this undeniable mark directly on our words.
Yeah.
And the Cambridge Dictionary's role here, as our sources seem to imply, isn't really to be a gatekeeper of proper English.
No, it's descriptive, not prescriptive.
Right. It's to reflect these shifts in digital culture, remote work, climate change, not necessarily to endorse them. So I guess the question for you, listening, is what stands out to you about these changes? Do words like delulu or skibidi resonate with your own experience? Or do they feel totally foreign, like a language you're just watching from the sidelines?
And how do you think these really rapid shifts impact communication, especially across generations? Are they building bridges or maybe creating new gaps?
Yeah, good questions.
It brings us to, I think, an important consideration about our relationship with language itself. Is language this fixed, unchangeable thing, like a set of rules handed down?
Or is it more fluid?
Or is it a fluid tool that has to bend and reshape to fit new realities, new ways of expressing ourselves? These dictionary editions really highlight that tension, don't they?
Yeah.
Between those who value linguistic tradition, stability, maybe they fear a loss of clarity, and those who embrace its dynamic, organic growth and innovation.
You saw that in the reactions.
Absolutely. The different reactions we saw, some worried about nonsense or the, degradation of English, while others just reported the changes or noted the confusion, they really underscore this ongoing debate.
And social media is just pouring fuel on that fire.
Oh, it's an incredibly powerful accelerator in this whole process. It's kind of democratizing word creation and spreading them at a speed we've just never seen before.
Yeah.
It makes us think not just about what we say, but how we say it and what that reveals about this moment we're living in, which is clearly a moment of incredible linguistic energy, maybe even chaos.
Yeah, dynamism's a good word. This deep dive into the Cambridge Dictionary's new words, it really shows how fast our world is changing.
Yeah.
And language is right there, sprinting alongside it, trying to keep pace. From the really fleeting viral slang like skibidi to the deeply significant forever chemicals and even those subtle reflections of work culture like the mouse jiggler. It just reminds us that every word has a story.
Yeah.
And sometimes those stories are literally just beginning to unfold right in front of us.
And as we've seen, those stories often come with, well, lots of different interpretations, sometimes really strong feelings, but always they hold up a mirror to our evolving society.
True.
It leaves us with a thought, maybe a provocative one. If language really is such a direct reflection of our world, and if its evolution is speeding up like this, what new words might we find added to the dictionary next year or even next month? And what will they tell us about the future we're not just building, but actually speaking into